Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful in oil country and around the world. I'm David Staples, Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Welcome, Bruce.
Hey, David, how are you doing tonight?
Good, and how are you?
Well, I'm a lot happier than I was sort of halfway through the first period, I got to say.
So, Bruce, I was wondering what you sacrificed to the hockey gourds to get an Oilers win on the night that you're grading the games.
Yeah, I was kind of overdue. That's just my fifth win of the season that I got to talk about, and it did not look like a promising thing. But what I did, you know what I did? I held my temper. They were 0-2 down, and two double deflections, and I'm just going. It's early. It's way too soon to give up hope. I still believe in this team, despite their performance on the other nights that I've been grading them, and just kind of hung in there. And they got the one. They kind of hung in there too. They got the one, and they gradually, I thought, took over and were the better team in the second half of the game. Outshot Winnipeg 15-11 in the second period, 11-8 in the third, and finally broke through with a pair of huge goals and icing on the cake, Dave Lumley style empty netter from 180 feet. So
your stoicism was rewarded by the gourds.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they would like that because Gordie Howe had that kind of stoic
Mm-hmm.
demeanor on the ice. As I remember it, although he could every now and then it would flash. I just remember him from the WHA, right, which was a much diminished Gordie Howe, and he was not as fiery, I don't think, at that point of his career, but he still had some skill.
I saw the second half of his career, which is to say, the last 16 seasons of his 32-year career. So I tuned in 62-63 season when he and Detroit were in the Stanley Cup Finals that
Wow.
year.
Wow.
And he was already like 34, 35 years old and treated like a god amongst men, even at that age. You could tell he was special just by how the commentators, talked about him. And he played the game. It seemed like at a walking speed, but nobody could take the puck off the guy.
Well, Bruce, we might. Gordie Howe is obviously one of the top 5 players of all time, and tonight we watch someone who's going to challenge for one of those top 5 positions before his career is over. Connor McDavid, another fantastic game as the Oilers beat the Jets, and the scoring chances were 11-9 for the Oilers. Grade A chances. Bruce, we'll do 2 good things each, 2 bad things, and 2 numbers. What's your first good thing?
Well, I'm going to go with Darnell Nurse. Dr. 25 had a pretty splendid game tonight, all things considered. A couple of little foibles here and there, but when you end up a 4-2 win with a goal and assist, 2 points, and +4 on a 4-2 win, you did a lot more right than you did wrong. And he played another sort of standard Darnell game, 26-41 with time on both special teams. And when he was on the ice, the Oilers had 34 shot attempts to 18 by the Jets. And of course, you know that he's playing with good players, and it's fair to credit the good players. But you know what? He's one of the good players. That whole unit is fantastic. And on the game-winning goal, all 5 of them touched the puck. Right? It was just bang, 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 right through the group of them, and that's one of the ways that they succeed is by involving the defensemen in the play. And both Barry and Nurse are strong on the attack. Wicked shot that he scored on to tie the score 2-2. And I was starting to wonder if they were going to get one by. It was going to be another game like last Saturday where the goalie just denied everything. But Nurse got the chance in the high slot, and man, did he pick the high top corner, but with a hard shot. He's added some mustard, possibly even some relish to that shot of his, that he's beaten goalies from the slot and even the high slot. That was a Vezina Trophy winner, and he blew it right past him.
Yeah. I couldn't honestly believe Hellebuyck let that in. How did he miss that shot? There was no screen. Nurse wasn't a one-timer. Nurse moved in, and yeah, he just blew it by him.
Right in the top corner, though. It was like perfectly placed.
Fair enough. So I still thought Hellebuyck kind of.
Well, it's a grade B chance in our books, but if you've got a good enough shot that you can score from grade B territory, maybe you've got a good shot.
Maybe you
Anyway, it
do.
was a huge goal to tie the game at that point. The game really turned in Edmonton's favor thereafter.
Bruce, my first good thing will be Jessa Puljujarvi, who I thought had a really fine game. Um, like Nurse, there was a few defensive errors, but he just really was effective on the attack. He had those early in the game. He had right at the end of a power play. He had two bang bang chances right on the doorstep after Draisaitl put it in on a shot, and Puljujarvi was Johnny on the spot and almost scored there.
Mm-hmm.
On McDavid's first goal, he just did all the kind of unsung things that lead to goals, and he first pops the puck by aggressively forechecking behind the net. Then his battling of Pionk in front of the net was fantastic, and part of it was that he was cross-checking Pionk, which I particularly liked because Pionk is a very effective and somewhat nasty player. So nice to see it get it back from Puljujarvi. But the chaos he caused in front of the net also contributed to the fantastic goal by Connor McDavid. If we fast forward to the third period, he made a pass. It was a deflected pass, I understand, that hit Nurse right on the stick. Nonetheless, he made the pass. He got the pass out there, and he also made a play on the third goal. He's in the neutral zone. The puck's forwarded by Nurse, and Puljujarvi kind of wins a battle, and the puck because he ties up his man or neutralizes him. The puck's there for McDavid to leap on. So yeah, Bruce, I'm really, everyone's fondest hope for, I guess, a Puljujarvi, well, in Edmonton at least, was that he would somehow fit in on the team this year, maybe as a third liner, get some consistency with Kyle Turris, and just, maybe score the odd goal and hold his own as a two-way player. Well, he has far surpassed those expectations, where to the point where, and I'll just go to my second good thing here right away because it's related.
Sure.
Where the coach is trusting him on the power line. When in Dave Tippett's line adjustments, I've criticized Dave Tippett enough for his lines to praise him. Here's my second good thing. His line adjustments tonight were fantastic. That was a fantastic move, putting that power line together. And Puljujarvi was on it with Draisaitl and McDavid. And that line scored an absolutely brilliant goal. So credit to the coach for cracking the code on this game and helping put his team over the top in what was a very close and hard-fought game. So Tippett did well there. I also thought, Bruce, the second line that came together with RNH, Cahoon, and Archibald showed a little bit of promise. It's the best I've seen in a Nugent Hopkins line. I thought he and Cahoon were surprisingly effective together. They're both really smart hockey players. And I thought that they were kind of, not reading each other's minds, but reading off each other's games, moving around the puck. And Archibald seemed like a good fit with them as well. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this combination of players again. I don't know if Tippett will start with that next game, going with that power line. Of course, Yamamoto might come back, but it was good to see Nugent Hopkins' line also play well. So it worked.
Yeah, the second line. I mean, obviously the power line scored both tying and winning goals for the Oilers, but when they came off, and especially after they got the lead, they were cycling through the lines. And when they came off the Nuge line with Arch and Cahoon, more than held its own. They had the puck in Winnipeg zone, it seemed like. And Nuge, like he's very close to being a good thing in his own right tonight. I mean, he played well left wing on the first line, then he played well some more at center on the second line, and he was. He was an effective, versatile player for Edmonton tonight.
He was out. Yeah, he was out for 13 shots, 4 and 7 against. And to get back to Puljujarvi for a second, he was out for 16 shots, 4 and 8 against. And both players were made significant contributions to that good shot differential this game. And played. Yeah, it's just very, very encouraging, especially with Puljujarvi, where out of nowhere, seemingly, we have this this really fantastic forward coming on for the Edmonton Oilers.
I don't have the scoring chances in front of me, but tell me I'm wrong. Puljujarvi was right in the middle of the play, right around the puck on all three of the non-empty net goals.
Correct. He was plus
He
three,
had
and
something to do, and yeah, he was +3, and he earned the +3 by
yeah,
making positive plays around the puck, mostly in traffic and just nothing, super dazzling or anything, but just winning battles using that big frame of his and that good first step that somebody had a great little feature on that in the game earlier this week of how he was reacting to deflected pucks and how quick his first step was in the right direction. I've been watching that and he's showing it. And when
yeah,
you
he's
got a
got
guy with that size and wingspan and leverage and skill, if he can get to the puck first or tied for first, lots of good things are going to happen.
he's got that sometimes in the offensive end. He's got that Dave Andreychuk kind of thing going on. Mike Krushelnyski, that kind of big octopus reach. And even at a standstill, when he's not moving much, you can kind of reach for the puck and control it and make a play. And he's starting to do that. It strikes me, Bruce, that a huge part of what was going on with Puljujarvi in his first stint in Edmonton, especially in his last season, wasn't just inexperience and lack of confidence. It was injury.
Mm-hmm.
He just is so much more stable on his skates now. Now, maybe, he had was it double surgery or
Double
what was it?
hip surgery on both hips.
Yeah. So, and he just is far, far more stable. When he first came to Edmonton, I actually thought he was pretty stable. He was playing on a line with Maroon and Draisaitl initially, and he looked like a power forward at that time, but he certainly didn't in his first year before he went to Finland. He just was falling down all the time. But man, he's sturdy out there. He's like Peter Nogli out there, the big German oak. Now that is a very obscure
former Edmonton driller.
That's
I thought
right.
you're talking about reach. I thought you were reaching when you came up with Dave Andreychuk, which is there's some physical. Oh, Andreychuk didn't have the speed that Yessa has, but Peter Nogri, what a beauty! He was captain for the Drillers when I had season tickets.
That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Those Edmonton Drillers. Okay, Bruce, where are we now? Are we onto your bad thing here?
No, we got a second good thing for me because you did two in a row.
Yeah. That's right.
My second good thing is Ethan Bear. I just loved the game he played tonight. I just thought it seemed like he was coming away with the puck or moving the puck to an Oiler time after time after time, winning battles, and never, no blunders, no mistakes. I don't know how many scoring chance mistakes you had him down for. I don't have the document open for some reason. Anyway, I just loved his compete level, and it was just little things, but millions of them. It just seemed like scads and scads of little things that he did right, and at least saw it off or got the better of. I don't know how many little short passes he made inside the zone. They weren't even like long stretch passes and stuff, but just get the puck to the right guy that he can do something with it. And of course, that took on more and more value as we got later in the game, and especially after Edmonton got the lead. But I thought the Oilers with the lead were superb. They were getting the puck out of their end, and they were getting in the other end, and they were battling for it down there, and they weren't giving up much of anything to the Jets down the stretch. And he was obviously not the only one that was involved in all of that, but his part was solid. I think he's played now 3 excellent games in a row.
I think it's
a good sign after the kind of a rough night on Monday in Calgary when a couple of errors turned into goals and a lot of fingers started being pointed, and he responded the best way you can with 3 good games in a row. So
I think it's the third game in a row, Bruce, that we've named him one of the good things.
Well, I know you did last game.
It's the third game in a row where he's made 0 mistakes against on grade A chances. That's really fine play from an NHL defenseman. Usually you'd expect, even when you're doing your job, you're going to get maybe 1 a game where you screw up on. But 3 games in a row where he's kept a clean sheet. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we should track how many clean sheets he
Clean
can get.
sheets, yeah.
The clean sheet. Um, yeah, he's and we're hearing a little bit less about Evan Bouchard. Feel kind of sorry for him sitting out all these games, but um, Bear, Larson, and Barry are certainly earning their keep right now. And
Why would you change that? All three of them are playing well.
why would you change that? Indeed. Bruce, my bad thing. I'll go with the first goal against. Mike Smith had a pretty good game. He only got beat on, the second goal against was a double deflection of the puck in the slot area, which is a pretty unique and deadly combination to try to stop. But the first goal against, that was a tough one. Smith came out, and in like 5 minutes into the game, he made a great save in the slot. But about 5 minutes after that, it was just a weird play where it went off Larson and it went off, I think, the Winnipeg player. I thought it might have gone off Russell, but it went off Kopp. So just a couple bad bounces and it's behind him. So that's a frustrating thing for the goalie. But he was only tonight beat on deflected plays. He was not beat on double deflections. He was not beat on one straight shot. So that's pretty good for Mike Smith. He's looking fantastic, Bruce.
Yeah, Ehlers, he just kind of sifted the shot in there. It didn't look dangerous, and it hit Larson, and it bounced sideways, and it hit Kopp on the shin pad, and it went down. It bounced off the ice and up again, which is really hard for hockey goalies. That's a lacrosse shot, the bounce shot, because the goalie responds to the puck, and he goes down with it, and then it comes up. Anyway, it also came within like an inch of the post. Like, they couldn't replicate that deflection if they tried it again 1,000 times, probably. But that was just one of those ones that had eyes and went in. There's no blame really to be assigned almost to anyone really on a play like that. It's just one of those
it's
things.
just bad puck luck, and that happens.
Yeah.
What's your bad thing, Bruce?
Yeah, I'm going to go with William Lagesson, who I didn't see particularly well tonight. And I wonder how well did Coach see him. 12 minutes and 4 seconds of play, -1. And he was on the receiving end of a couple of really hard hits, including one really dirty hit that I couldn't believe wasn't called. The guy hit him right in the 84 and drove him basically face first into the glass down there in Messier's corner, on the far left corner, right above the goal line. And somehow the refs missed that one. They missed a few, but that was the most dangerous of them. And I don't know that he played a lot after that, but I don't know if that's why he didn't play a lot after that, right? Because as the game got 2-2, 3-2 down the stretch, and you had Lagesson's shot attempts were, shots on goal 2-4, 8 against on his watch. Yeah, he's been getting away with the poor shot counts. I wrote about that today. Right? His shot share was only 40%, but his goal share is like 67%. And tonight that came down a little bit, and the shot share actually got a little worse. So sooner or later, those percentages, when they're flying that high, they're going to catch up with you. But I just didn't seem good, and I didn't make a lot positive happen, and he got beat a couple times. So
I'm not seeing either Jones or Lagesson good at this point. I think they're both kind of struggling defensively, especially leaking chances against, and that's going to, Larson's keeping them afloat, both of them to a certain level. But one of them's got to step up right now and seize the job, and we'll see who it is. But Lagesson's been in a defensive slump. I think a genuine defensive slump for a while here. In his last 4
back. Has he been? Has he been back to where he was before?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And it's not getting better. It's getting a little bit worse. So Jones will probably likely get another chance. I wouldn't be surprised to see. I mean, Caleb Jones can really move the puck. He also has been leaking chances against, and he's had some turnovers, but he can really pass it. So Lagesson seeming a little bit overwhelmed by the speed of things right now and the kind of the intensity of it all. So he's moving up from the HL and the Swedish Hockey League, second division, this particular year. So he came out so strong, but he has slipped, and we'll see what happens next. Alrighty. Bruce, your number.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 18-7 for the Oilers in the last 25 games to
Wow.
really turn the season around. They were 3-6, and they beat Toronto on a Saturday night here. What would that be? 7 weeks ago, 4-3 in overtime. Edmonton's one and only overtime game of the season, and the Oilers were able to win it in 42 seconds. That's how much extra time they played this year. Otherwise, all regulation games. Including 24 in a row now, which I'm betting is close to a record in the shootout era. Anyways, 18 wins, 7 losses, and looking more and more comfortable with 1-goal leads down the stretch, which they had again tonight. And that's several of those they've ridden out lately. Now, mind you, against Calgary and Vancouver, they couldn't overcome 1-goal deficits down the stretch, but they came a lot closer to tying those 2 games than their opponents came to tying other close games lately, including the Jets in both of these games. I thought Edmonton kept them at bay down the stretch both nights.
Bruce, for my number, I'm tempted to go with Connor McDavid tying Austin Matthews in goals. Let me just look that up. But I'm going to go with something else that occurred. And I think this is the first time this season, if I'm not mistaken, that Edmonton has been ahead of Winnipeg in winning percentage. So Edmonton now has 34 games, 21 wins and 13 losses. They're 6-18. And Winnipeg in 31 games has 18 wins, 11 regulation losses, and 2 overtime loser points, for a 6-13. So it's 6-18 to 6-13. So this is a big accomplishment. Yeah. I'm going to say the Oilers were lucky to win both those games. They had some good puck lucks, because the grade A chances in those 2 games were very close. Both games, either game could have gone either way, but the Oilers won. And there's been other times when they haven't been so lucky, when they've outchanced the other team. So they're at 6-18, Bruce. Toronto's at 6-56. So Toronto's still significantly ahead, although Edmonton and Toronto are now tied in the standings. And of course, Edmonton has games coming up against the Maple Leafs, which loom large. 2 games in hand. Yeah. The goal differential for the Leafs and the Oilers is closing in. Toronto's plus 24 and the Oilers are plus 19.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
After 9 games, they were minus 7. So in those 25 games since that they've gone 18-7, they've gone from minus 7 to, what'd you say, plus 19?
Correct.
Well, plus 26 over a 25 game span. That's and that includes that getting the crap kicked out of them 3 times in a row by Toronto, and the whole rest of that time they've been good.
So just to get back to the Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews thing.
Okay.
McDavid and Matthews are now tied at 21 goals each. Matthews has played 5 fewer games, but he's been injured and has missed 3 games. So Matthews has 36 points in 29 games. McDavid has 60 points in 34 games. So all that talk about Austin Matthews winning the MVP, I think that kind of maybe jinxed him a little bit, because since that talk was at its, an uproar, he's struggled to get scoring again. Of course, he could get hot at any time. He's a fantastic hockey player.
Yeah, he was very unlucky against Calgary. Twice he was robbed by diving saves by Markstrom last night. Riddick tonight, where it looked like he had the whole side to stick the puck in, and the goalie came diving right across the front of the net, somehow kept it out. He hit a post last night that really should have been an easy goal. He missed the net tonight on one that really should have been an easy goal, and they showed him at the bench just hammering his stick away and trying to break it into pieces, even though Toronto was leading at the time. And no doubt because he's Austin Matthews, that's signs of character and leadership, whereas if Leon Draisaitl did it, would be signs of sulking and bad body language. Tell me I'm wrong.
You are not wrong. He does have a 17.8 percent shooting percentage, so we can't say that he's had terrible puck luck shooting the puck.
Just in this series against Calgary, he's a great shooter of the puck. Really
Isn't
elite,
he?
right way up there with at least near Leon.
He yeah, he's closing in there. If he keeps working at it, he'll approach that level. Leon's shooting at 18%, by the way.
And Connor is at
15.4.
with a pot full of shots. He's been shooting like mad. I love it.
136 shots for Connor McDavid, Bruce. Yeah.
That's 4 a game. That's a nice number. He
is playing at a different level than we have ever seen him play. And it is just such a treat. It is a treat if you're a fan of this team, to be able to watch this player night in and night out. We are so lucky. Mm-hmm. His movements are so fast, so electric, and just can't get over it. I just feel we had Gretzky here, and now we've got this. Like, man, did we ever pick the right city to be a hockey fan?
Yeah, well, Pittsburgh got the luck with Lemieux, and Lemieux and Jagr kind of overlapped the way Gretzky and Messier, I guess, and others overlapped. But then they got a whole second era with Sidney and Gino, and now we're getting their kind of luck with Connor and Leon, and just two wonderful high-end players that can take over a game separately or together.
Yeah, two cities that have had a tremendous amount of good luck in terms of having the NHL superstars. So we'll take it. Alrighty, Bruce. Well, you got to get writing, so we'll let you go. And thanks for talking tonight.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.